All right, everybody. Live Lock Shoe here, along with T Lindstrom. You hear me, all right, bro?
Real good, real good. That intro was sick.
Good. Dude, I literally threw that together in like 20 minutes.
Just Google Tiger Woods real quick, and then that's a good start.
Yeah, pretty much. Tiger, Kobe, all that fun stuff. All right, dude, there is a shit ton to talk about. I know we've been talking off and on the last couple of days. So we'll just kind of lead off right here, man. Aaron Rodgers apparently came out and is threatening retirement. The exact thing I got, actually, let me look for it here, was angry Rodgers threatens retirement. I don't know. What's your thought on all that?
My initial take would be, I guess Jeopardy's going well for him if he's willing to say, hey, I'll walk away from football right now. Do you necessarily think that's happening before the Jeopardy? I mean, there's a joke involved with that, obviously, but I'm kind of serious.
No, I mean, I don't know. For me, so this is Ian Rappaport. Serious consideration that he retires rather than returns the Packers. This was literally posted about 40 minutes ago. Unless the situation is repaired to his liking, it's unclear if that means a trade or a new contract. Rodgers would have to repay $11.5 million of his signing bonus and another $11.5 million if he retired.
Okay, so it's not going to be retirement, even though Jeopardy would make up for that, but it's not going to be retirement. He's just using that leverage. The players control it anymore. I mean, if they don't want to be wherever they're at, they can make that call, and teams have to kind of do what they want. And with Rodgers, he's saying, all right, yeah, I can retire. I don't think he is. I think it's a bargaining chip. He said Vegas, correct? He said the Broncos. I could obviously very much see the Broncos in play. Vegas, I think it'd be a little bit more difficult. But I could very much see Aaron Rodgers, if not in Denver. How about Philadelphia?
You're hoping. You're hoping.
Theoretically, they've got the most draft capital that they could give up. If Carson Wentz plays 70% of the snaps in Indianapolis next year, that second-round pick becomes a first-round pick. That gives them their first-round pick, the Indianapolis Colts first-round pick, and the Miami Dolphins first-round pick.
Yeah.
Combine that with the Jalen Hurts, that's got to be as attractive as an offer as anybody can put together.
So this, to me, as a Bengals fan, obviously, reminds me a lot of the Carson Palmer situation. Okay. Like now you're at to where I think he probably kind of feels like, hey, man, you guys aren't getting me any receivers. You're not getting me, enough help in other areas. And he's probably kind of like Palmer was with us. He's just like, screw it, I'm done. Like I'm staying here. And then you drafted a quarterback last year in the first round, which probably pissed him off, I'm sure. So I don't know, man. To me, it's kind of like on that. And Mike Brown for a long time was like, I'm not trading Palmer. I'm not trading Palmer. Then he finally, almost – I think it was almost trade deadline. Got that deal with the Raiders that they pulled out. But that was a lot to do with Hugh Jackson was at the Raiders too. So,
who was the offensive coordinator in Cincinnati before that, right?
Yeah. Well,
Palmer was
ties with Marvin.
Palmer was almost the pioneer as far as standing up for himself, standing his ground as a player, and saying, "Hey, all right, if you're not going to do it, I will retire." And I could be wrong, but didn't Palmer sit out at least 1 year before that deal got done?
No, he didn't sit out a year, but man, he didn't play.
He threatened.
I'd have to look back, but I know for a fact that I think it was pretty close to the trade deadline.
Okay,
so talking like mid-season. And I might be wrong; it might have been 4 or 5 weeks, but I know it was deeper in there, and he was completely content. He even says to this day, like, I was done, I was retiring.
He absolutely won an off season and then into a next season, right? I mean, he didn't. All right, the season ended. Yeah, I thought so. I mean,
that's why they ended up ultimately drafting Dalton. I think you're kind of in the same situation here with Aaron Rodgers, where I think he's just kind of done with the situation. And it was kind of weird too at the end of the season. He goes, "I have to see how next year plays out," and I'm like, "Okay." He's just talking. Everybody made a big deal about it, and I was just kind of like, "It's no big deal." But now all this is happening, and people are like, what the hell's going on?
Well, the way that playoff game ended, I can kind of see why he'd be a little bit sour about that. And then 2 is the last 9 years that the Packers have picked in the first round, they've picked a defensive player 8 times. The one time that they take an offensive player, it's a quarterback.
Receivers at all. I mean,
They take a quarterback the one time that they do it.
Yeah, with
So
especially with all the talent that's been coming out here lately, just not to even get him any help. I'm actually surprised they, with the Aaron Jones thing and everything, how that went. I didn't think he was coming back.
if you had to handicap it right now, these 4 scenarios with Aaron Rodgers, he stays put in Green Bay. How would you handicap his odds in that scenario? He retires. He's traded to Denver. He's traded to Oakland. How would you handicap those?
I could see Denver definitely making a run at him. As far as staying in Green Bay, I think you almost might be at that point. Obviously, we don't have any inside information, but you might be at that point, kind of like the Palmer thing again, where your relationship's fractured and bringing you back. It's public knowledge now.
Would you still call that the odds of Aaron Rodgers to be traded? I'd still probably say if Vegas had to put a line out on it right now, it's probably still close to even money.
Yeah, unless you want to be an asshole and just flat out not trade him, and just be like, hey, you can retire and pull the Mike Brown that he did with Palmer for a bit. But
where does that get you?
Yeah, it's not going to get you anything. If he wants to leave that bad, trade him, get something back from him, and move on with Jordan Love.
So the other quarterback that I know we're going to talk about a little bit that wants to be traded is Deshaun Watson, right? So people are talking. I don't necessarily think that'll happen, but what if you just did a Rodgers for Russell Wilson straight up? What do you think?
I don't think they do that. I mean,
who wouldn't do that?
Seattle would do. Well, man, I don't know if Seattle would do it either. I don't know.
Seattle seems like they may not have a choice but to get rid of him here in the near future.
Yeah, I think there's some stuff there too because there was a lot of teams shopping around him as well.
I think that would be such an interesting, the debate on that.
That'd be real weird.
Because do you all right, Russ has got the upside, obviously, with his age. But are we going to lose him in the next year or two anyway? So do we take – and then the Packers, obviously, you do it, right, if he's this disgruntled.
Well, I mean, if you're the Packers, do you even need a quarterback because you already got Jordan Love?
Oh, yeah, you know what? That's fair. If they're going to trade him and they're looking for capital, they're probably not looking for a quarterback in that deal.
Yeah, they're going to be looking for draft capital, maybe some other help in other spots.
That's fair. Maybe you go to Philadelphia and there's 3 first-round picks then.
You got to stop at Philadelphia. I think at some point, if the relationship continues to go like it is from what we're hearing, I think he's got to be traded. I don't think you can just sit there and keep him around. And, I mean, just like I just read, he's got to pay $11.5 million signing bonus back, $11.5 million of a salary back. So, I mean,
that's if he retires, right?
Yeah, if he just walks away. $23 million. Well, he's probably got that. I'm sure he's not hurting for it. But at the same time, does he want to be done playing football, or is he just willing to say, hey, look, man, I'm done with you guys. I'm walking away.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair.
Kind of circle that around to Deshaun Watson. Look, this is like one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league. I love this kid. I mean, dude, he's just a winner. He has been since Clemson. I love watching that kid play. I have no freaking clue what's going on with him as far as like all this stuff outside. There's some different stuff I heard, but I'm not going to get too crazy and conspiracy and all that kind of stuff. Different things. But I still hear supposedly teams want to make a run at him. Now I'm kind of looking at it like, okay, if any of this stuff's true, I mean, you got to take this investigation somewhere. They're going to end up coming back and looking at it and saying, hey, you can't play for so many days. So do you think they actually make a move? What I kind of heard yesterday, they were kind of hanging back and they maybe had planned on making a move at some point during draft day or right up into it. And then now you got all this stuff coming up. So that kind of killed all that. So you think he goes anywhere? You think he stays put? You think he gets suspended? You got to find out more info, but.
So for me, there's a couple scenarios with it. I think it's a 2-horse race in the sense of he's either going to be playing for the Houston Texans next year, which is by far the most likely, and I'll explain why. Or after last night, especially with the way the quarterback situation played out across the league, it'd be the Miami Dolphins. And I think it'd be one of those 2 teams, and that's absolutely it. I couldn't see anybody else trading him. And now you throw in, if you're another team, and you say, all right, with, like you just mentioned, everything that's going on in the news, am I really going to give up my future, which is exactly what it's going to cost, to get a Deshaun Watson, which with what's going on and what, unfortunately, the allegations, you're probably not. And then at the same time, if you're the Texans, and a team saying, hey, you know what? Because of what's going on, we're not going to offer you what we would. Do you sell lower? So for me, I feel like Deshaun Watson is by far way more valuable to the Texans than he is to anybody else. And for that reason alone, I think he stays put. But if there was a team to go off the deep end or to make that jump and say, hey, you know what? Let's go for it. The only team I could ever see doing that at this point would be the Miami Dolphins.
Supposedly, again, you can't even believe half of what these reporters say nowadays as far as the league, because they can't even tell you if someone's going to play or not before a game. But what I had heard, and I think this was about a week ago, was that the Dolphins actually offered a pretty big trade for Watson that included Tua. I don't know how accurate that is, and they didn't really give any details. If somebody has that, I'd love to know it.
How recent was that?
Dude, it wasn't that long ago, man. I'll try to find it while we're talking. But, yeah, it was. I think it was a package that included Tua for Watson. See if I can pull something up here. Sean Watson, Miami Dolphins. Dolphins. Here you go. Dolphins were willing. This is 3 days ago. Dolphins were willing to trade Tua for Watson. See, there's really no. This is what I saw. There's really no other information other than that. Right? I mean, that was something that was speculated for a long time. Was, hey, is someone gonna come in here and offer a bunch of first-round picks for this guy to get him in there? But that was kind of one thing everybody else is saying too, is, well, the Dolphins could do it with Tua because supposedly they were already looking at quarterbacks for this coming year.
And especially with the draft capital that they had going into this draft, if these allegations don't come out and they pull the trigger maybe a month or so ago, yeah, you're looking at both of their first-round picks this year. You're looking at Tua. You're probably looking at some capital next year as well. But I'll be honest with you, the Dolphins are at the top of my list of teams that I'm impressed with. They're right there at the top, especially after last night. They could have possibly gotten the best receiver and the best edge rusher in the draft last night.
Well, we're going to get to the draft too. And I'm telling you, the way that they've actually ran the organization as far as getting all this draft capital, that's how you're supposed to do it, right? I'm sitting here as a Bengals fan, like, do y'all need to pay attention to what they're doing? They're getting all these picks over the last couple of years, and they're really building and stockpiling on those and making moves. So.
With what they did with that Laramie Tunstall trade, my goodness, that guy getting before the draft was the best thing that's happened to the Dolphins in the last 10 to 15 years, by a mile.
Oh, by far.
Because if he doesn't get high, if that picture of him with the gas mask does not come out before the draft, the Dolphins don't get him.
No.
That year. He was a top 10 pick.
Yeah, he was.
Or maybe it would have been a top 5 pick. I mean, he was the number 1 left tackle in that draft.
I don't know. The whole Watson thing's got me messed up because I love the kid. But, I think the likely scenario is I don't honestly, God, I don't know what happens with Rodgers. I do think Watson stays in Houston because now I don't think, like you said, I don't think anybody could trade for him. I think you're just kind of like your mortgage is too much because you don't have a clue what's going on with it. He gets it for a whole year.
A team's not going to give up what the Texans want. The Texans aren't going to settle. So it's just he's by far the most valuable team to him, or the team he's most valuable to is the Texans by a mile.
Yeah. The Rodgers thing, I'll kind of have to see how that plays out. I mean, we're only like 24 hours into that, so.
And you've got maybe two of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league probably going to swap teams this year. When does that ever happen? Besides never.
I mean, dude, and then you look at the offseason, we had Stafford, Goff. I mean, you had a ton of guys move teams. It's
crazy.
Carson. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. We'll have to get to that one at a later date, but I think he's going to – I was talking to someone else about that earlier.
He'll do well.
All right, let's hop into the draft. All right, so another news too that I don't know if you saw. I saw probably about an hour ago the Chiefs signed Jerry McKinnon.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not really sure why. I mean, I guess they just want to add more depth. It is what it is. I mean, it's not a bad pickup. He's a good player. I mean, when he stays on the field.
Absolutely. I was going to say, he got a hell of a contract from San Francisco. My goodness.
See, I got ESPN on right here waiting on the draft, and they got a story now. Says Rodgers tells Packers he does not want to return to team. GM says there are no plans to trade the reigning MVP.
I bet.
That's Carson Palmer all day, man.
And he's not going to say that, all right, we're going to trade him.
No.
Because that only is going to handicap the offers that you get. You're only going to get stronger deals by saying, I'm not getting rid of him. I'm not getting rid of him. All right, make me an offer I can't refuse.
I got a buddy that's a big Packers fan. I'm sure he's loving that.
I mean, that's going to be – he got a Super Bowl, but that's got to be a disappointment. If he leaves as a Packer now with all the success regular season-wise that they had, one Super Bowl's got to be a little disappointing now.
Yeah, he should have won a couple more.
Should have won a couple more. Packers, Eli Manning ruined that.
Eli Manning ruined Tom Brady, too.
What a human.
All right, so let's hop on Jags. Obviously, we knew Trevor Lawrence was the guy. Then they actually came around later and got Travis Etienne, which I think we were both on last night kind of testing this out. And I think I was a little shocked by that one, especially with James Robinson. They're on the team. It's kind of weird. I mean, not a bad pickup, though, but then I don't know if you saw it, it was last night or early this morning that Urban came out and said he's just going to be a third down back. Do you use first round to be a third down back? Come on.
Urban's a liar. Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad you said that because this would be the first time in Urban Meyer's life that he's lying about something, right? Man, that guy. I know he's Urban's your boy. I like the pick. New regime. So what James Robinson did last year, great for my fantasy team, but borderline irrelevant. He is a downhill back. You get Trevor Lawrence's buddy. ETN has every bit of the upside as Alvin Kamara and every bit of the upside as Le'Veon Bell. Maybe not the patience and the running ability, but the pass catching out of the backfield, absolutely. I was not surprised by that pick. We had ETN under 30.5. We also, when it was live, I said, hey, this could probably be ATN here, and it ended up being so.
Dude, if we'd been able to live bet that draft, we would have absolutely killed it.
Especially at the end of that first round, because there would have been some value. Because it could have been anybody.
We were talking about, and we hit all.
Yeah.
Me and you both, we hit them all.
We hit Rousseau, we hit Owa, Farley. The only ones we missed was a very questionable pick in New Orleans, Houston. But we'll get to all of those later. But
circling back with the Jags thing, now that you bring the ATN connection up, so we'll hop on Lawrence real quick. Then I want to go back to him. So what's kind of your outlook? Because my outlook's probably a little bit more different than a lot of people's as far as Lawrence. I'm going to end up having a bunch of hot takes, pissing people off, which is going to be fun. That's just kind of how I am. But what's your take on Trevor?
I think he's as close to a sure thing prospect as we've seen in the last 5 to 10 years, probably since Andrew Luck. I think he's the real deal. I think obviously there's some situations that will make it tough for a quarterback, but I think he is one of those players that no matter the situation he's drafted into, I think he's going to be successful. I think he's got all the tools. I think he can make every throw. He's even a little bit low-key mobile in a weird way.
Low-key mobile. He can move.
He can. And I guess some of the knocks will be on him. He's never had to really come from behind. I guess in those national championship games. But even in the games he lost, he balled out. The one difference with, like we were talking about last night, Justin Fields, he had a down game against Northwestern. He had a down game against Indiana. They didn't lose those games. But even in Trevor Lawrence's losses, he was incredible. And let's not go with incredible, but he was impressive. So I think it was obviously a no-brainer. Is it still a 50-50 shot whether he's going to be successful? Another question with him is how much does he really love the game? If that is the biggest question you have on a quarterback, how much he really cares, say the guy's a pretty good prospect.
So my kind of theory with the guy, I think a lot of it's going to be situation based because you got a new coach that's never coached the NFL, right? You got Urban Meyer, who I love as a Buckeye, but at the same time,
such a good dude.
He's shut the hell up. He's never coached in the NFL, right? So how's his system going to translate over to the NFL from college, and how's it going to work, right? So my biggest, I guess, hang up on Lawrence has been throwing down the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that he can't do it, because he can. And I know you do too. I use Pro Football Focus for a lot of stats. I'm a stat guy. I like to dive in, for my baseball and all that kind of stuff. When you actually pull up his stats, he's got average depth of target for a quarterback was 101st. As far as passing deep yards, it was 12th. And then his average completion, I don't have that in front of me, but it wasn't super high. The one thing that kind of worries me was, and it's more of a product of the Clemson offense than it is him, 56% of his passes were either behind the line or within 9 yards, right? That's a lot. That's a lot. That's why you go look, he's like first in screen yards and all those yards. So, and actually here it is, his adjusted completion percentage, which we know Pro Football Focus kind of does that. And typically they're a little higher, right, than your actual completions, because you got drops and all that stuff tailored in. 51% on deep balls. So, like I said, I think this is more of a product from the Clemson offense than it is him. But my kind of worry is, okay, is he going to be able to translate and actually continually throw it intermediate routes, deep routes, and instead of checking that down? But to circle back, like you said, now he's got Etienne with him. Are we going to see kind of the same thing there, where it's check down, check down, check down? All that. I don't think that's going to really work at the NFL level. So I'm going to have to see him for a year or two to kind of really say, hey, man, he's going to have it or he's not. But I think a lot of it's going to be Urban Meyer and how his offense translates and how he uses them, how they use the running backs, how the receivers adapt to him. So I think there's a lot of factors that go in, and a lot of unknown factors that go into it with him, just because of the situation he's in, right? It's not like you got a proven head coach coming in that's been in the NFL and you know what type of system he runs. Like before we get into a season, I could look at every offense and, okay, I know what this coach does well, I know what this coach does well. It's going to translate on the field. I can't do that with Urban Meyer because I've never seen him in a pro system.
For me with Urban, it's not necessarily is his offense going to translate. I think it will, if I'm being totally honest with you. I can't stand the guy. I think it will, and if only it's because they've maybe never seen it before. So my reason for saying that is, even with Chip Kelly, if we're being honest with you, the guy was an idiot, but that's why it didn't work out with Chip Kelly. He didn't know how to handle the players. He didn't know how to be a GM. It wasn't because his system didn't work.
Innovative as shit. I mean, he
exactly
really innovative, especially at the college level. But yeah, I agree.
Exactly. I think Urban Meyer's system is going to work. What was Urban Meyer's issue with Florida? It was he was running such a program that was such a toxic environment that the players were borderline turning on each other. They couldn't stand each other. All of those. I think that is what could be his issue in the NFL. They're not kids anymore, and I think Urban's good with the kids. When you're talking to adults who, newsflash, again, I said it earlier about if a guy's biggest knock is that he doesn't care that much, I'll be honest with you, newsflash, a good chunk of the NFL doesn't really give a shit. They do it because they get paid a hell of a lot of money. They don't care as much as the fans want them to care. And I'm sorry to say that, but it's the truth.
No, I don't disagree at all. I think that's probably accurate.
And so I think it's going to translate. It's just how is he going to manage the relationships in the locker room itself? It seems from what I understand, he's the general manager, borderline calling the shots. I don't think he's officially the general manager, but it sounds like he's calling the shots there personnel-wise. So for me, that's where I wonder, is it going to work for Urban Meyer?
Yeah, I think it's just going to be something we have to kind of do a wait and see. Obviously, I think that was more of it was no shock. To me, the draft didn't even start until the third pick.
Absolutely.
You knew who was going to.
Absolutely.
So let's go ahead and actually snowball that in to pick 2, Zach Wilson to the Jets. Then also later on, and Jets traded away. I had to look up all the deals. Jets traded away 2 third-rounders this year to move up 9 spots, and they got a 4th.
Yep.
So they traded away 2 thirds, got a fourth, moved up 9 spots, got Vera Tucker, which will kind of help them out to protect their new quarterback. What do you kind of got on? There's some like mixed feelings on Zach Wilson from a lot of different people. I'm a big Zach Wilson guy. Actually, if we're being completely honest, he's probably my favorite in the draft.
Absolutely.
He reminds me a lot. I don't know. There's different similarities. He reminds me a lot of Matt Stafford. I think he's that type of guy. He's got a big arm. He
arm talent.
Throw it down the field. He's
more
pretty
mobile.
accurate. I think he's going to be kind of that guy that just is like, hey, man, I'm just going to throw it up and let you make a play type deal. Now, the Jets got to help him. We'll see if they do that because they have a bad history of doing that here lately. But what's your thoughts on him, man?
The only knock on what you just said was Matt Stafford, one of the toughest quarterbacks of all time. He's got a little bit of injury concerns, so that would be the only thing on that, I would say. But as far as that Jets, you had to take Wilson. He's got the upside of Patrick Mahomes, if we're being honest with you. But that was a no-brainer again, so I'm not going to waste too much time on that. I am going to focus on what the Jets did with their other pick, and it was the always rare double win in a trade, right? So I really loved what the Jets gave up. They borderline gave up nothing. To only give up 2 third-rounders to get up 9 picks, and you got a 4th round back. The Eagles gave up a 3rd-round pick to go 2 slots up. So their value there and what they gave up, the player may not work out. So that's another conversation. But as far as the trade itself and the value they gave up, they hit a home run. But then you flip on the opposite side of that and you'd say, all right, well, did the Vikings then lose that trade? No, because they ended up with Darrisaw, who, if they took with this pick without the trade, that would have been a good pick. That could have been the guy. So they almost borderline got their guy with making that trade. So that's why for this one, I felt like with what the Jets gave up, I was like, man, they didn't have to give up a ton. But with the Vikings, I really love what both teams did on each side. It was the double win for me. And because of that, it's got me so excited that I was able to bet that prop on Barrymore today. The Jets are taking a defensive player tonight in the first and the second round.
I think so too. Don't give away all the stuff yet.
I know.
I agree with you. I think it was a home run. I had to actually, because they don't really tell you during live, hey, they gave up a 2nd or a 3rd, and if they do, it's a graphic later on.
I was missing also.
Bullshit, and they're not even paying attention, so we're not catching the graphics. So I had to go back and actually, we'll get to the rest of them, but I'm looking at all these deals. I'm like, there's some really good trades and smart trades, and people didn't give up a shit ton. So it's kind of like you said, win-win on kind of both sides, especially that one. I mean, only giving up 2/3, and then you're still getting an extra 4th. And you're getting the guy you want to help protect your quarterback. I thought that was a great move. I'm very interested to see what the Jets do with Zach Wilson because, like I said earlier, I love the kid. There was some, hey, played it, BYU, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you only play what you got to play.
Correct.
At the same time, I mean, he outside of, I think he had 1 year where it was kind of up and down. But I mean, even when he stepped in as a sophomore, he had a pretty stellar season too. So I think he's got a pretty good track record. He's got a big arm. I think it'll be exciting there. They need to help him out. Hopefully this new coaching staff can do something because it was a freaking disaster. Thank God he's not with Adam Gase and doing it ruined in 2 weeks.
Absolutely. And you're exactly right. Wilson did have a great second year. Kind of was a little bit down that 3rd or junior year. I think it may have been a red shirt. But the injuries messed him up. I think he had a finger injury and then the shoulder. I could be wrong on those. Don't quote me on those. But, man, who's their offensive coordinator, by the way? Because I know Salah's the head coach. They've got to have somebody kind of innovative offensive coordinator-wise because you got to put this kid in a position to be successful.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I know he's
I don't know why I think it's Schottenheimer, but it's not. I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is. Like I told you, I'm working on my preseason NFL stuff. Actually, I have everybody wrote down, but
I hope they've got somebody who's creative for him. But just like you said, you can't really – I'm not going to knock a prospect based off of the talent that they played. If it's the Division 2, 3 level, yeah, you got to kind of factor that in. But you kind of said something interesting about Trevor Lawrence earlier about how his average throw so short. And you can't really knock him that his playmakers make turn a slant into
No,
a
yeah, I think
touchdown,
it's
right?
just a product of the system you're in, right?
Yep.
Systems, I'm a big guy.
We got to compare his numbers versus Mac Jones with Waddle and Devontae Smith going to the crib every time they catch the ball. So we got to look. That's the fair way to look at it.
Jets, Mike LaFleur. So he's the brother.
Oh, all right. So yeah, and that is an innovative guy. All right, because he's LaFleur's brother. Okay.
It's just that my thing is, is Robert Saleh can do a good job there and actually, lead the ship. So
Yep.
I see how that plays out. For Jets fans, I think they should be extremely excited. Same with Jags fans.
Absolutely.
Let's move on to the Falcons. Kyle Pitts, bro.
Freak of nature.
I am told from I don't know how many people that probably, in my opinion, the best player in the draft. I love the kid. I think he's a freaking matchup nightmare, especially, as you go into a season and you got this team right now, and there's been talks of trading Julio Jones. You imagine Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, and Kyle Pitts.
Hayden Hurst ain't bad either.
Yeah, Hayden Hurst on the other side. I mean, this kid, if you watched him in college, he's got everything. He's got that Kelsey-like
that's who he is.
Dominance, where he could just come in and absolutely kill it.
He's every bit of Kelsey and Kittle. That's not a reach to say that. He's every bit of them.
They compared him last night to Darren Waller, and I think he's kind of a mix of all three of those guys.
Yeah, Darren Waller, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I thought that was a little bit of disrespect to Kyle Pitts, if I'm being totally real.
You don't like Darren Waller?
No, I do like Darren Waller, but Darren Waller's not the 4th overall pick in the NFL draft. He's a good player and he's a matchup nightmare, but he's not what Pitts is.
I think they were almost comparing him as far as that big body box you out type deal.
Fair.
Waller can probably do that better than most of them. Kelsey's just a freak. I mean, UC guy.
He's Kelsey.
Yeah, I think he's probably a little bit more explosive than the rest. I think he's one who can actually take him out wide, line him up. He can. As a Bengals fan, I wanted Pitts the whole time. I'm like, give me Pitts, give me Pitts, give me Pitts. Then everybody's like, we'll get to the Bengals a little bit, but that's who I wanted. Pitts to me is the best player in the draft. I think he steps into Atlanta and just absolutely kills it right away.
I'm hoping some of the people saw the videos I was posting on Book It Monday of hitting the golf balls, but the 2 locks that I said me and Wes are all over. And at that time, Pitts was minus 143. That's a lot. Check that. Chase was minus 143 in the top 5. But Pitts was minus 167. When the draft went off yesterday, he was 350 in the top 5.
Dude, I had him at minus 400 on mine.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Your book is a scam.
I didn't touch him, right? But
I said we're all over. Chase is going to go 5.
Yeah,
Pitts is going to go 4.
And
then I shanked one.
Yeah. By the way, if you don't have the Book It Sports app, go download it. You can follow me at LiveLocksU. You can follow T at T Lindstrom 17. Best app on the planet, social media for sports betting, sports talk, just sports in general, no drama, no bullshit. Great app. Been on there personally since it was a beta phase. I'm one of the verified handicappers on there. T and I work together. Moving forward a little bit more now. So definitely hop on that right there. Just go in the App Store or Google Play and download it. I don't know what else there is to say about Pitts. I think he steps in and
it's a freak.
I mean, because you're going to have to take a corner. You're going to have to bring a safety down. Somebody's going to have to cover. You can't cover him with a linebacker. He'll kill you. So I don't know. I think it's a great pick. I kind of hope the Falcons don't get rid of Julio. I hope they keep him. But we'll kind of have to see how that goes. So we'll move on to my Bengals. Jamar Chase, let's go.
That was simultaneous, that clap.
I mean, we called that. I've been saying it for at least a month. So I was driving around this morning, picking my son up from school, or dropping him off, and then, I picked him up. So I had our local sports talk on. You would not believe how many people are calling in pissed off about this pick. I mean,
what? Did they want Sewell?
They wanted Sewell. Everybody wanted Sewell. I get why. I understand why, but at the same time, I take a step back and I look, Okay, what did we do in free agency? All right, so you went out, you upgraded the defense. Great job on that front. And then they brought in Riley Reef. Now, granted, this is only on a 1-year deal, but he's 32, 33 at the most. How old's Andrew Whitworth? At least he feels like he's 50.
100, I was going to say.
I mean, the dude's stayed around and he's balling out. So there's no reason to think, hey, if Riley Reef steps in and continues to
Doesn't
do
he have a kid in the league?
Huh?
Doesn't Whitworth have a kid in the league now?
I don't think so. I wouldn't be shocked. But there's no reason to kind of think, hey, if Reef steps in, he continues doing what he's done the last, 6 years or so. Like, actually, I was on Facebook last night, and I had somebody come on there like, "Oh, he's overrated." I'm like, "Really?" So I posted a screenshot of his PFF grades, and it's like all green. I'm like, not overrated. He's a solid tackle. So from what I'm kind of hearing, I think they're going to put Jonah Williams, who was a former first overall pick, put him at left tackle, put Reef at right tackle. So to me, going in the draft, I'm like, why would you take Sewell? Because you brought this guy in, granted, again, on a 1-year deal, but at the same time, you did bring somebody in to help block. If anything now, you need help interior. You need help at the guard spot. I mean, you got Billy Price. They didn't pick up his 5th option. Whatever. I think there's still a little bit of hope there, but I'm not extremely optimistic. Trey Hopkins is a good center. Outside of that, you need another guard, which I think they addressed today. But when we kind of go back and look, also the Bengals brought in Frank Pollock, and he's a hell of an offensive line coach.
Okay.
That's what kind of gave them their success years ago with the below-average talent line, to be honest. But anyway, back to Chase. We called it a long time ago. I've said it for a couple months. Burrow wanted him. Now you get an offensive receiving core of T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Tyler Boyd. Then you get Joe Mixon in the backfield with a little bit of an upgraded offensive line. I don't see how that's a bad pick at all.
Well, it's not, and here's twofold why I will say this. So Chase, as far as the average NFL fan, let's just keep it real. The average NFL fans aren't as big as nerds as we are. So what do I mean by that? Most Bengals fans will say, all right, we're picking in the top 5. Let me focus on who's going in that top 5, right? And that's all they're paying attention to. So the reason I say that is I promise you're going to get a better receiver offensive line combination by going Chase in the first round, and then whoever you take, whether it's Wyatt Davis in the second round, whether it's Jenkins, who could possibly fall, whether it's your boy Carmen, whether it's Walker Little, who could possibly fall there, you're going to get a better combination of Chase and whatever offensive lineman you're going to grab here in the second round, which is minus 400, by the way. It's a lock. Opposed to grabbing an offensive lineman in the first round and whichever receiver you wanted now. I promise you that Chase offensive line combination first, second round is better. Not only that, Chase sat out this year. So Bengals fans didn't get to watch him this year. So I can see that being another reason why they're saying, hey, you know what? But you know what? On the same vein, Sewell sat out.
Exactly, yeah.
So I take back what I just said there.
For me, it kind of comes back to, okay, if you had a guard that was as dominant as Sewell, then maybe you talk a little bit more. But with bringing Reef in, my buddy just hopped on the live stream here and said Reef's a stud. He's a big Bengals fan as well. Thanks for tuning in, bro. If you had that absolute stud of a guard there, I could see the argument a little bit more. But you already got 2 tackles now. So like you said, you're not going to get that type of player that you got from Chase in the second round. There's
absolutely not.
How many guards came off last night? One true guard.
One true, right? Because Vera Tucker was playing tackle last year, and Leatherwood.
Yeah, Vera Tucker came off to the Jets, and that was early. Nobody else came off, so the Bengals get to pick 5 now. Now, I will say if they don't take a guard or at least a tackle that can play both spots, I am going to be pissed off. So we'll see how that goes. But I think they will. I think they know they got to address that need.
There's a guy I really respect who has Dickerson as the next best offensive lineman available, followed by Jenkins. I know Dickerson's a center, but I don't know if he's versatile where he can move or if you guys need a center, but that could be a good one as well.
I like Hopkins, but Hopkins can also move to guard. So, I mean, it's
keep an eye out for Dickerson to Miami as I'm saying that. Pouncies are gone, right? I wouldn't be shocked if Miami here with the 4th pick in the 2nd round took Dickerson. I could see that instead of Jenkins. I've got them taking Jenkins, but I could see Dickerson.
Yeah, I could see that too. He's actually 4th on Kuiper's big board left available. So
okay, that same guy who I respect, I checked the list. He's got Carmen as a late 3rd round pick, the last guy on the list that he showed. So that's.
I would agree with that more. The fact that, like I saw, like, we were talking yesterday, Carmen was the number 2. I'm like, man, like I like the kid. He's from my hometown, Fairfield High School. He was a number 1 recruit coming out. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. All right, so we'll move on. I could talk about the Bengals all day. You know what I have to do, like, moving forward? We'll have to do after the draft's all done. I'll do, like, each week we'll do, like, a division and just break the
okay, cool.
division. I think that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah.
All right, so we go to the Dolphins. They pick next. Again, like I said earlier, they knew what the hell they were doing, so it gets kind of complicated, so follow along. So they basically started out with the number 3 pick. And they turned the number 3 pick to the 6th pick. There was a trade in between, but I'm not going to get into a ton of it. But here's what they got for it. They turned the number 3 pick and a 4th rounder. That's all they got rid of. Into a number 6 and got an additional 3rd and 5th this year and a 1st rounder in 2 years. And then they just drafted Jalen Waddle. All right. So, again, I said it earlier, and I told you friends, the Dolphins have people at the front office that know what they're doing.
Dolphins crushed it last night. Jalen Waddle crushed it last night. Dipped on his family the second he got drafted. They take that Roll Tide shit very seriously in Alabama. That was very unintentionally hilarious. The second that they panned to him after they called his name, he literally got up and dipped right out, looking like a boss too with those sunglasses on. What a human Jalen Waddle is. I can't wait to hopefully draft him in something.
Yeah, I mean,
what a human.
So I know we talked a little bit about it yesterday.
And he's tough as nails.
Oh, yeah. He's
tried to come back in the national championship game. Torn.
Broken.
Crazy.
So I know we talked a little bit about it yesterday. And, another hot take here. I'm not a Tua guy. I was not a Tua guy coming out. I think he's extremely overrated. I don't see it translating into success in the NFL, and I think we kind of saw some glimpses of that last year. Now, granted, it's his rookie year, but I think you're going to see a lot of the same. I think the Dolphins probably feel the same way for the fact that we've already heard rumblings of they might look at a quarterback, and then you got supposedly them trying to trade Tua for Deshaun. So, he's back. Jalen Waddle's back with Tua, and they're reuniting. There's some familiarity there. But at the same time, he's not a good quarterback. I don't think that experiment lasts longer than at most 2 more years, and that's been extremely generous. I could see him going somewhere after next year.
And you're exactly right. Flores at the end of last year, they were bringing Ryan Fitzpatrick in out of the bullpen every single chance they got. They were just playing Tua because he needed the experience.
Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick came in and actually
he was holding them back. Exactly right. And then
it's funny you say that though, because actually I got a couple buddies that play fantasy. Actually, a guy hopped on here earlier. I think he had Devontae Parker last year. And I remember when Tua went in, I'm like, dude, that hurts because
it kills Parker.
He doesn't have that. Fitzpatrick just goes out and slings it. He don't give a shit.
He's not scared.
Tua's kind of a little bit more limited in that aspect.
He's looking for Alabama Open instead of NFL Open.
Yeah.
And the other thing that really has people – so you don't want to judge a quarterback so quickly, right? In the past, you give them a year or two. But when you had Tua go 5 and struggle, very much struggle, and Herbert, who was the guy with all the question marks, come in there and he's chucking the ball all over the place out in L.A., it kind of makes Tua look kind of bad. It really does.
There was actually people here in Cincinnati like, we should take Tua over Burrow. I'm like, no. Like, to me, this was before he came to Cincinnati, but I said for a long time he beat Alabama in the regular season. I was like, dude, that's probably the most impressive I've seen a quarterback since Andrew Luck. That was my thought on it before he even came here. I was like, man, dude, if they screw this up and go 2, I'd be pissed.
See, I was worried about the 1-year wonder thing with Burrow because before his senior year, he was a 5th, 6th round pick if he was lucky.
Yeah, he was. But then when you watched him in his senior year, he made every throw.
Everything.
I mean, awesome. On the move, everything. I mean,
he cost me so much money.
He's got some swag too, dude.
He cost me so much money.
Cost you money? Why?
Because I didn't think it was legit. They would just roll team week 1, 2, and I'm like, all right, yeah, that's not gonna happen. I bet Bama. I bet Ole Miss. I mean, just get my ass kicked week after week, and the dude's just throwing 6 touchdowns.
When they beat Alabama in the regular season, I was completely sold on that kid.
Yeah, I had Oklahoma in the semifinal. I was done in the first quarter. Like, it's just, you hate to see it.
Dolphins also got Jalen Phillips.
Great pick. Could be the best edge rusher in the draft.
Yeah, they needed a pass rusher too. I think that was a really good pick. He graded out really well pretty much everywhere. So, I'm kind of shocked that I still can't say his name right. Rousseau or whatever his name is.
Rousseau.
Is it Rousseau? Okay.
Rousseau, yeah.
I don't say it wrong. I'm shocked he dropped down as much as he did, but he got somewhere later. So,
and the Bills cut the Ravens on him.
Lions come next, and they turn around and get Penny Sewell. So I know staff goat over on the Book and Sports app. I'm sure he just had a field day with that. He probably loved that. I think that's a great pick. I mean, you got Lions in rebuilding mode. They got Goff. They might build around him, but I see him kind of taking someone at some point. If it's not, if they don't get random here and snag up like a Trask or something, they'll be looking at someone. Nobody's a big Jared Goff fan, I think. So I think that's a great pick. I mean, this guy was, supposedly the best player in the draft for a long time. Then I think over the last couple weeks, it seemed like people were starting to poke some holes in him a little bit, but I mean, I actually saw after the draft, actually, I think it was this morning that somebody from Detroit came out and said he's the closest thing to a Hall of Famer in the draft class. Like a surefire. I'm like, okay, man, let's dial it back a little bit. Let the dude get out there and play. But I do think it's a great ad. Get him on the left side there to protect. I don't think you can really go wrong.
Nah, he was going to have to fall to somebody. If those quarterbacks are going to come up and go early, he was going to have to fall. The interesting storyline for me on this with him going there is you got to feel like, especially with Chicago coming up to take Justin Fields, you have to feel like Justin Fields, his career is going to be kind of compared with this Sewell. All right, yeah, we've got a great left tackle here, but if Justin Fields is out there going crazy in Chicago, you're going to be left feeling what might have been, right? Yeah. So for me, that's kind of the interesting aspect of that pick for him. I think they had to do it because he is supposedly, I'm not a scout, supposedly the biggest sure thing in the draft. He was going to have to fall. Either him, it sounded like, or Carolina, or Detroit or Carolina was going to pull the trigger if it happened to them. Detroit did it before Carolina got the chance to do so. Great pick.
Carolina.
Oh, yeah, please go off on that.
I'll wrap the lines up. I'm going to agree with Schmiegen here. Sorry if I said your name wrong. I think probably value-wise probably was the best pick. I mean, you got somebody falling that far down. It was a good pick. It doesn't shock me. Like you said, I think we were kind of thinking they might go a different direction. But I think
you can't go wrong with that, especially when your coach is Dan Campbell talking about eating people's kneecaps. You got to then kind of get tough in the trenches.
That dude's going to be interesting to watch, man.
It's going to be awesome.
He's a different animal, man.
He's an electric factory.
All right.
Go off.
Panthers, man. I'm going to make this a little bit safer for work, but I mean, dude, what the hell?
I've got a JC Horn jersey on the way to your house right now.
Dude, I mean, we weren't even talking yet. We were texting back and forth. So for those of you not on the Book and Sports app, I had a prop bet up for Patrick Surtain at minus 350, and I usually don't lay that juice for this freaking reason, right? So I'm thinking, dude, Patrick Surtain, my opinion, and I think most opinions, he's the best corner in the draft. He's a lockdown guy. He's a sure thing. I haven't seen a quarter come out that good in a long time. I mean, I've watched a lot of Alabama games, many as I could. He's an absolute stud. And the Panthers turn around and take JC freaking Horn.
Bucky effing Dent.
Like, are you serious? Like, I'm sitting here watching, like, dude, are you kidding me? I was in shock. I mean, I'm sitting here, I got a minus 350 bet. So I ended up losing 7 units on that damn pick.
For that trust tree, I didn't have that. I'm sorry.
Huh?
If we're in the trust tree right now, I didn't follow that, and I'm sorry. Because I told you I loved it.
Yeah, I think everybody would have loved that. I don't really understand why they picked, and I don't think anyone's asked them. I haven't seen anything come out, hey, why'd you take one or the other? But I don't know. The only thing I could think of is maybe they see something with, the way they play. I think.
Are you going to hold this against JC Horn?
No, I want to go. Man, I don't know. I'd rather.
Every time you see him get toasted,
balls out. He might fit their scheme a little bit better on defense. I think
every time he gets toasted, you're not going to be happy about it.
No, I'm not.
And every time Surtain makes a play, you're not going to be happy about it.
No, I'm going to tweet whatever play Surtain makes and tag the Panthers in the post. But I don't know if it's like a scheme thing. Maybe if memories kind of serve me right, I'm pretty sure the Panthers play more zone than they do man. So then I have
no idea.
You got JC Horn, I think, is more of a man guy, right?
Absolutely. He's a press corner.
Yeah, I don't know how that fits as well, but I'm not the coach, I'm not the owner, but I didn't get it. To me, and I think most everybody else, Surtain's the best corner in the draft, and the fact that they went the total opposite way pissed me off because I lost money, and it just didn't make any sense.
For me, it's kind of as simple as almost one place for Alabama, one place for USC, and I almost said something stupid like, and one's got the NFL pedigree. But I could be wrong, but I'm almost 100% sure JC Horn is Joe Horn's son as well, isn't he?
Yes.
I think his dad was in the league as well, so he's got that pedigree as well.
Yeah, so I think we just got to ask. I think we're probably going to stay on at least through the Bengals. And, the Bengals pick after Philly, right?
Yeah, the one pick after.
Yeah, because it's about to start here in like 6 minutes. So we probably won't even be done going through the whole thing. So, yeah, we'll probably be on at least through the Bengals pick, bro.
Send us, whoever's watching, send us how you've got this first round starting, at least to the Bengals.
Bengals hater, man. Come on now.
What's that?
Got a Bengals hater on the screen.
That's all right. I'm a Bengals hater just because it's fun. Who do you guys think? How's this first round or second round going to start? Who's your team? Who are they taking? And why does my golf swing stink? Let's get some of those going.
Oh, dude, all right. So, speaking of Patrick Surtain, the Broncos ended up getting to get around to it and grab
again. His the Fields question that I just brought up with the Broncos or with the Lions, same thing with the Broncos. Did they leave a franchise quarterback sitting there when they've been dying for one?
Maybe, but I'm not completely out on Drew Lock yet, to be honest.
What?
I'm not. I don't know why.
If he didn't rap every single word of that Jay-Z song, That Time on the Sidelines, are you saying that right now? Because for me, the answer is absolutely not.
I mean, dude, he's not. What's up, Best Bets Daily? Appreciate you, bro. Browns fan, we're going to have to talk about that.
What's up, Best Bets? I follow you, man. You're good.
Man, I don't know why I'm not completely out on the kid. I mean, you got to think going into last year, they had a shit ton of injuries. So I'd give the kid another year. But, I mean, I probably would have looked a direction, at least to give him some more competition. But they did go out and they traded for Teddy Bridgewater, right?
They did. They did.
That kind of gives them the competition. I mean, they had a lot of injuries last year. And, so I don't think you can really gauge how he did because, I mean, and even he got hurt for a little bit last year. You had a freaking receiver playing quarterback for one game. Remember that?
That was tight. I had the under. That was nice.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I actually threw him in a tournament for DraftKings. It didn't work out very well.
What the? If it worked out, you would have won by a mile.
I would have smashed. But I'm thinking,
and that's the key to DFS. It's just percentages, as far as ownership percentages. So that I don't hate you for that.
I was like,
actually, yeah, that's dumb.
You put him at receiver, and if he throws a couple touchdowns, shit, I'm right there. Runs a couple touchdowns, but he didn't.
There's quarterbacks in the NFL that can't even throw touchdown passes, and you think a receiver is going to do that shit?
Well, I kind of thought maybe he'd run a little bit, you know.
You're a Bengals fan.
Man, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not completely out on him yet. I am a little shocked that they didn't maybe think about going the Fields route or the Mac Jones route or, something like that.
Ooh, and they left Parsons there. And I'll be honest with you, if Surtain would have went to Carolina, I'd be willing to put money on saying they probably would have went Parsons. But I'd be willing to bet Surtain was their number one defensive player on the board.
Yeah,
Denver.
I like. Well, no, Surtain went after Denver.
After Horn, right? So I'm saying I think Surtain was Denver's number one defensive player ranking. So if Horn didn't go the pick before, or say Surtain went the pick before to Carolina, I think they would have taken Parsons. But say Parsons went, they still would have taken Surtain. I think Denver got their guy.
I like Parsons a lot.
I think Denver got their guy.
No, I agree. I do give Locke another year. I mean, hopefully a healthy Cortland Sutton will help.
That guy's good too. He's a beast.
Cortland Sutton's really good. That was a big loss for them. And then you got Jerry Jeudy in there, who's also
get that bump.
So, let him see how he does this year.
You saw that flash week 17 last year. I think he had like 8 catches, 160 some yards.
Finally, I waited for a long freaking time.
Got him in my dynasty league. Nobody gives a shit about my fantasy team though.
All right, so we'll take this into the Eagles pick, your boys. So
got a Heisman winner.
Got
a couple of Heisman winners.
They made a trade with Miami before the draft, and then during the draft, they made a deal with Dallas to move up 2 spots.
Mm-hmm.
4 spots.
2. Oh, sorry, they went from 12. They just leapfrogged the Giants.
Yeah. So they moved 4 spots back from their original spot from the Miami trade, right? So all they did was lose a 3rd rounder. And they got a 4th rounder this year and a 1st rounder next year, and they got to move up and get their guy. And their guy, you could take it from here, bro.
So the Eagles giving up a 3rd round pick to go from 12 to 10. Just when I think Howie Roseman can't be a bigger idiot, he goes and does something like this and totally redeems himself. You had to do it. You had to get in front of the Giants, and they proved it to be right. Not only did Gettleman panic and trade back, he proved it by then taking wide receiver and Tony. Howie Roseman had to win over the city of Philadelphia last night. And if you just look at the reactions of the city when that pick was announced, not one person is upset. He had to make that pick. He got it right. He was smart in getting in front of the Giants. And people were saying today, I was seeing this online all day, and this is how stupid people are. Why would the Cowboys trade with a divisional team and help them out? Well, Einstein, if the Cowboys don't do that with the Eagles, guess who takes Devontae Smith? The Giants, who are in their division. So they basically got a 3rd round pick for free to play against Devontae Smith. So the Cowboys, they stink. I hate them, but you got to give them credit. Howie Roseman, he stinks, and I hate him. I got to give him credit. He did a little bit to gain this trust of the city back again. He
lost the there.
He has. He's supposed to be a cap guru, and they're in a league of their own above the cap. Don't get me started on Howie Roseman. I'm not happy about it. And I'll be honest with you, I give a lot of these guys a lot of leeway. It takes a lot for me to trash a player in Philly, especially or a front office guy. I'll trash a front office way before a player. But it usually takes a lot. It does. And I've had enough with Roseman. I really have. He can't hit on a draft pick. He's supposed to be a cap guru, and they're in a league of their own above the cap.
I'll give him getting rid of Doug Peterson was, I thought, huge.
I don't know what all happened behind the scenes, so I can't make.
I don't either. All I know is he alienated his quarterback, and then it's one thing that really pissed me off about him was he refused to give the ball to Miles Sanders.
That's fair.
I understand.
Somebody was done dirty, whether it was Carson, Doug, both. But for me, it's as simple as in Philadelphia, the fans, they're tough, they're assholes. I think the reputation's out of line a little bit, but they're a little over the top. They care way too much, right? But the one thing I'll say is when you win in this city, the Flyers, there's a quote with the Flyers, win a day and we walk together forever. And it's the truest quote of all time. The 74 and 75 Flyers are still idolized in the city of Philadelphia. You win a championship in this city, you're taken care of forever. So we're starved for a Super Bowl. Doug Peterson brought us that. Doug Peterson brought us that Super Bowl. To win a Super Bowl in this city and to be gone 2-3 years later, why would anybody want to coach here? Why would anybody want to play here? I don't get it. I really don't.
I get that, and there was a lot of people saying that. But at the same time, and the product that he was putting out there, dude, after that Super Bowl.
Yeah. And it's fair.
I don't want to say it's fluke because they won a Super Bowl. Nick Foles did it. Carson Wentz took him the majority
of the play call.
The play call.
Doug Peterson was a different coach when Carson Wentz was not his quarterback. Literally every other quarterback he would have, whether it was Hurts, Foles, he would call the perfect game. He would help his quarterback be successful. He never did that for Carson, and that drives me nuts. But that would be my one beef with him.
I'm a big Carson guy. I like Carson.
I like Carson too.
I think he'll do well out in Indy. We'll see how that goes. I let you pretty much take the reins on your team there. I agree. I think Devonta Smith was a big get.
They had to do it.
The only concern I have is pretty much everyone else's. He's kind of small, but I don't see any reason why they won't bulk him up. One thing I love about him, the dude can run routes. I mean, he's like very precise with his cuts and everything.
Ocho Cinco-esque.
Don't give him that yet, man.
Ocho Cinco might be the GOAT route runner of all time.
He might be the best route runner of all time.
He's AB. He can run those routes.
Yeah, I think that's really going to help him with the separation. Him and Chase are two different guys, right? Chase is more that big body, physical guy. Yeah, I think Devonta Smith's going to have to rely, especially for a little bit until he puts on some muscle. He's going to have to rely on a precise route running to get his ass open. Right?
You'll see him a lot in the slot, I think. I don't know Sirianni's offense, but I think you'll see him in a lot in the slot because it gives him a little bit extra room on press. You're a yard off the line of scrimmage, so it gives that receiver extra yard there to create a little bit of space. But just real quick to talk about the size thing, there was a story that was just told about the Seahawks where Pete Carroll jumped on the table the year they took Russell Wilson and asked the entire personnel and scouting department, said, hey, anybody in here does anybody in here dislike something about Russell Wilson other than his size? Put your hand up, and nobody raised their hand. And for me, it's the same thing here with Devonta Smith. His absolute only knock is his size.
Well, and it's the size this way, right? I don't think his height's fine.
Yeah, he's 6'1".
The build, yeah. So that's something you can build on. You can go in the weight room, and he's going to have
he'll grow
with that with him. So
absolutely.
I don't see that being I'd say he comes in next year, dude. He's probably put on 20, 30 pounds of muscle.
I mean, he probably should have done that at Alabama, though, because they've got to have a top-notch training. And I think he actually lost a little bit of weight from the combine, from his pro day till the combine or whatever. I don't know. One of those two things. He lost a couple pounds.
So we'll see how that goes with your boy Jalen Reagor out there. See how that works out. So that takes us to the next big trade. The Bears move up 9 spots. Gave up a 5th rounder this year, a 4th rounder next year, and a 1st rounder next year. They move up to take Justin Fields. I know a few Bears fans extremely happy about it. I'm a big Ohio State fan. Obviously, I live here in Cincinnati. Massive Buckeye fan. I like my Bearcats as well. I'm not the guy that can only like one. I like both of them. I live in Cincinnati. I live in Ohio. I like my Buckeyes. I like my Bearcats. Justin Fields worries me for one reason, because of that Northwest game. I don't know why. I can't get it out of my head. That performance was absolutely abysmal. And Trey
still won that game.
They did, but Trey Sermon won that game.
That's fair.
That was all Trey Sermon. He had 300 yards rushing.
They may have even covered the spread.
Yelling at my TV the whole game because they were gashing him every time they get the ball. I'm like, just give the ball to Sermon. Give the ball to Sermon. Because Fields couldn't do anything. Right? Then they finally gave it to him and he started rolling. Then he bounces back and absolutely shreds Clemson. Right? Great game. Another big game from Sermon as well. Then he comes in and just lays a goose egg against Alabama. Now, I get it. It's Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
It's, Alabama was the best team in the country last year. It wasn't close.
Jaguars on the clock.
Yeah, I see that. I got it all right now.
Okay.
But that's what he's going to see on Sundays, right? So I think with him, I hope he's successful. My intuition kind of tells me he's going to struggle. And I think a lot of it, everybody's like, oh, he couldn't have been put in a better place in Chicago. I totally disagree.
I disagree with that.
They do have a good defense. I'll give them that. I'm not a big fan of
Nagy or Peace.
I'm not a big fan of Montgomery. I think he's an indecisive runner. He's not a great running back. He had a great end of the year last year.
Yes.
He had a lot of good matchups. Matt Nagy, terrible.
Delaware guy.
Nothing good about Matt Nagy. And I think the problem with the Fields now is you take him, you put him in Chicago. I'm going to assume Andy Dalton or Nick Foles is going to start the first few games. Then they'll probably lose. Then everybody's going to want Fields, and they'll get Fields in. Matt Nagy was on the chopping block going into this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty close to you could be canned. Right? So now you got a young rookie quarterback going here that you're going to have a coach there that I don't know what you're going to do with him. Right? So
it was basically an insurance policy for them.
It is, but at the same time, he was close to being fired already. So now, you're making some ways of taking a good young quarterback because you passed on Watson and Mahomes to take Mitchell Trubisky. I almost just dropped an F-bomb. I'm sure I can. It probably doesn't really matter.
I think you can say whatever you want.
So you passed on Watson and Mahomes. You took Mitchell Trubisky. You finally move up. You made a splash. You got Justin Fields. Going to a coach that's on a hot seat. So just for argument's sake, because this is more likely going to happen, he's going to have growing pains, right? So if you have Dalton and Foles go in there and they play really well, he probably stays on the bench, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if he doesn't, he comes out. If he doesn't light it up, you're probably going to be below 500 unless you're lucky and your defense keeps you in the game. Matt Nagy's going to be gone.
Yep.
So now Fields has got to learn another system in his second year. It'll take him a year or two to get that. So you're looking at probably 1 to 2 years or 2 to 3 years before you actually see what he can do. I don't think he was put in a good spot at all. No, a lot of people do. I think it's a terrible spot for him because I don't like Matt
Nagy. I don't disagree with you at all, but I think it's textbook keep my job 101 because just like you said, what's going to happen is Dalton or Foles is going to start. They're going to look like Dalton or Foles. You're going to get to the middle. What happened?
Red Rifle.
Oh, I thought something happened. You're going to get Dalton or Foles. They're going to stink. If they stink really quickly, you can go to the opposite of whoever starts. All right, you get midway through the year. You go to bench that guy. You put in Fields. All you need is for him to show just the slightest bit of improvement from that first start to week 18, 17, to where you can go to the owner and say, hey, we're building something here. We only had X amount of games with Fields in there. You got to give us another year. It's literally textbook coach and GM buying their jobs for another year or two is all that is. But my biggest takeaway of Justin Fields is he looks like Kane Brown. I don't know if you're a country music fan.
Kane Brown's freaking awesome. Yes.
Yeah, he is awesome, and they literally look just alike. So that's my biggest takeaway of Justin Fields.
I think a lot of it's just going to depend on his success. My cousin's a big Buckeye fan, and my buddy's not a Buckeye fan, but likes Justin Fields. I've told him for a couple of weeks, man. I don't think he's going to be good. I've actually used the word bust. I think a lot of it's going to really. I think I've kind of reined in a little bit. I'm not ready to say the word bust, but I think
he's not Haskins. But I think you're right.
No, God, no, he's not Haskins. He's a lot better.
Right.
I think I could go pick someone up at Kroger to be better than him.
The Jaguars are going to take Morrig.
Well, good. I have a defensive player. Let's go.
They didn't. I'm just putting that out in the universe right now.
You think they're going to take Elijah Moore?
No, I don't think they're going to take another offensive player. I think they're going to take Morrig, the safety from TCU.
Oh, safety. I thought you said Moore, meaning Elijah.
No, I'm sorry. They're going to take Morrig, that safety. Morrig Woodard.
I can see that.
Trevon Morrig Woodard. I don't know if Huncho has been in on this at all or is in now, but shout out Dave Huncho, TCU guy.
Oh, yeah, he's a big TCU guy. We'll have to see what happens with Fields. I think it's just going to be a circumstantial thing.
Hey, Trent's a TCU guy too. Aren't they all TCU people now that I'm saying that? Shout out TCU.
Trent's a TCU guy, yeah. Hey, Trent, TCU won me a little bit of money in basketball, so I'm cool with it.
Shout out Trent.
All right, move on to Dallas. They're the one that traded with the Eagles. Only moved back 2 spots. And they got
much love, my friends in Dallas.
And they drafted Micah Parsons.
Did you see the video of the Giants fan that went viral today?
No.
It's like a super Giants fan who's in the middle of doing a stream for a bunch of other Giants fans, I guess. Mm-hmm. And he's sitting there, the Cowboys are on the clock, and he's like, "Oh, the Giants are sitting in a good spot. They're gonna get Smith. They better get Smith because if they don't, the Eagles are gonna get him." And he's like, "What the? The Eagles are on the clock," and just has a meltdown as the whole thing unfolds. And he's like, "The Cowboys and the Eagles are tag teaming the Giants." It was awesome. You gotta look that up. Anybody who's watching hasn't seen that, look that up.
Yeah, they got Micah Parsons. I mean,
so
stud. He's the best linebacker in the draft. Who retired? Sean Lee retired, correct?
Sean Lee retired. I thought that dude's been retired for like 6 years.
It seems like it because he's always hurt. But yeah, so he officially retired earlier this week, I believe. So this makes sense, right?
Penn State to Penn State.
Yeah, makes complete sense. I think it's a great pick for them. They need the help there, that's for sure, because they got shredded on the ground last year in a bad way. I mean, I won't ever forget Kenyon Drake ripping off like a 70-yard run at the end of a game. I mean, that's pretty bad when you let Kenyon Drake do that to you. So
I was going to say.
Great pick for Dallas. I like it. Not much to really say about it. It's defensive, He's a linebacker. He's a great linebacker.
I think they missed their guy. I think Surtain was their guy as well, but it would have been a long shot for him to get. They were probably hoping that Parsons went to Denver. They could get Surtain, but I think win-win for Dallas either way.
Yeah, I think so too, and I wouldn't be shocked to see them go corner today.
Look, offensive lineman as well.
A sneaky one here. Real quick, since the draft started, do you have any Jags plays right now you want to give out real quick?
No, I stayed away from it. If there was one that I had a ton of value that I liked, take the Jaguars to draft a tight end right now. It was plus 1,100. Pat Freiermuth, from Penn State. Absolutely in play. Just don't think they're going to go offense 3 straight picks. I really don't. I think it's going to be a defensive player.
I got safety at even money. I dropped a half.
Okay.
So
it's going to be Morrig, or it could even be the edge rusher from Georgia. It could be Baremore too. It could be the Alabama kid, which I really hope it isn't.
I agree. Chargers, they got Rashawn Slater. That's a
steal of the draft. Steal the first draft.
Dropped as far as he did. The kid's a stud.
He's a sure thing.
I mean,
not a ton of talk about.
That might be
boring. Northwestern stud.
So actually, I think I saw something earlier that said the Chargers had the most improved offensive line throughout the offseason. I didn't open the article. It was just the headline. But I don't think I disagree with that.
Yeah, I could see that. I think people would make the argument with the Chiefs. I'll hold my argument on that one till later. I very much disagree with the Chiefs, but yeah, I agree that the Chargers have absolutely improved their offensive line the most. People are obsessed with that Orlando Brown trade. I'm not. I think the Ravens hustled them, if I'm being honest.
You think what?
I think the Ravens fleeced them.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, I don't think he's washed or anything, but I think his best days are behind him.
Yeah, and one, they drafted him in the 3rd round. They got a 1st-round pick for him. 2, they don't have to pay him now, and his struggles are in the passing game. So you send him to a more
team that passes
offensive. Yeah, I just don't. I wasn't as high. I'm not as high on Orlando Brown as most people are.
I was kind of shocked when I saw it because they actually gave up. Actually, that was probably, I think, the worst trade of the draft as far as what I think.
Yeah, by a mile.
Yeah.
They got a 1st-round pick for that dude. And more.
Down. So they got Orlando Brown. The Ravens did. Or sorry. The Ravens traded Orlando Brown in a second rounder and a 6th rounder, for whom they ultimately drafted a 3rd round pick, a 4th round pick this year, and then a 5th rounder next year. I mean, they gave up a 2nd. That kind of hurts, but outside of that, I think they probably got the better of the deal there.
By a mile.
And you free up cap space, right? So.
Yeah, and that arguably is the biggest thing there because they don't have to pay Brown now, who was going to get a nice payday.
You traded a 2nd, got a 1st, got a 6th. You only gave up a 3rd, 4th, and a 5th, and then you got an extra 1st rounder. Yep, picks in. See who this is. Oh, give me a safety. Give me a safety.
Are you ahead of me? What's on your screen right now?
He's talking. See, I got it muted, so.
Yeah, me too. Did they shake the fan's hand yet? Is he pointing at people right now for you?
He's reading a pick or something.
Oh, all right. So I might be a couple.
Corner, Tyson Campbell out of Georgia. Shit.
Tyson Campbell out of Georgia. Okay. So that hurts my Falcons to take a corner, but they could still take Asante.
Still take Asante.
But now I worry about the Jets taking Morig now.
So since the Jets are up, I got a small play just because it was decent value. The Jets to take a running back here. That's plus 70 odds. I dropped a half a unit on it.
It could be Williams.
I could see Williams going off the board, and I think that would be a really, really good pick as well. I like
so. For me, my thought process here was I always look for value. Barrymore plus 750. One spoke a lot of value to me. And then the more I thought about it, you've got Joe Douglas, who builds in the trenches.
I got one in. I think I got a defensive prop in, too. Let me check.
Nice. Joe Douglas, who absolutely likes to build through the trenches.
I got defensive lineman plus 420. So they could take a running back or a lineman here, defensive.
Okay. I really need it to be Barrymore. Joe Douglas, who loves to build in the trenches. Saleh, who's a defensive head coach. They drafted 2 offensive players yesterday. They even traded up to grab one of those players. I would be floored for a coach and Joe Douglas with just what I know about Joe Douglas and his history with the Eagles. I'd be shocked if they went 3 offensive players right out of the gate. I know, again, that he likes to build through the trenches. Combining that with Saleh, what was the strength of his defense in San Francisco? They built from the line backwards. Kinlaw was their 1st-round pick last year. Bosa was dominant. Combining all of those things, I think he's going to try to establish the same thing in New York. I think Barrymore plus 750 to the Jets with this next pick. There's a ton of value. I think it's going to happen. I'm a little bit nervous about it now that Morig just didn't get taken.
You want him to stay on there for the Eagles, right?
Yeah, but he won't get past Atlanta. So it's a pipe dream because even if the Jets don't take him here, Atlanta's going to sprint up to that podium. Unless there's something going on with Trevin that I don't know about. But I don't watch a lot of film. I'm not a scout guy or anything, but I won't just watch their highlight film because it's obviously only good plays. But when I just was watching the teams playing against TCU and was watching those, I really like Morig, and he can play all over the field.
Let's hop back on his 1st round because we didn't even get halfway through this pitch yet. Patriots grabbed Mac Jones, and you and I were talking last night. They didn't have to trade for him; they got to wait on him,
which is going to make him better. By the way, that sounds crazy, but Mac Jones is going to be better because the Patriots didn't have to trade up.
Dude, I don't think they probably couldn't have scripted that any better. I'm sure. Belichick came out last night and said Cam's our quarterback. No, he's not. I mean, might be for the first couple of days, first couple of weeks, Cam can't throw the football anymore. Mac Jones will be starting, I'd say, by week 5 at the latest. Great. I think it's a great pick. I know a lot of people aren't a Mac Jones fan. To be honest, I'm not a huge Mac Jones fan, but I'm a Belichick guy, and I know what he can do. I mean, he won games with Matt Castle, Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy G went to Super Bowl with San Francisco, but
he went 11-5 with Castle.
Yeah. So I mean, I've always kind of said, you give him a bag boy at Kroger, and he'll find a way to win a game. Right? So obviously, he can't do that with Cam Newton. It's a different animal, but I think it's a great pick.
It was a steal, and I'm serious. We're gonna have to watch the graphics on Sunday and Monday Night Football. How did the NFL let Bill Belichick get Mac Jones? He didn't even have to trade up for him. And if they would have traded up for him, he'd be good. But because they just sat there and the NFL let him fall to him, he's going to be even better. It makes sense, I promise.
Well, it's probably, and then you're going to have the Brady comparisons and stuff too. Right?
Mac Jones is going to be better because the Patriots didn't trade up. It makes sense. I swear it makes sense.
Cardinals, this is a quick one. Got Zaven Collins to help with the running, or the linebacker.
It's fast.
He is fast, and I think it. So actually, I think I was telling you yesterday, the preseason thing I'm doing for the more fantasy and betting aspect. The Cardinals are terrible against the run, so I think this actually helps them out tremendously. They needed it. That actually is what that and corners, some weak spots for them. So I wouldn't be shocked to see them go corner at some point in this draft as well. But I think that's a big pickup for them.
Yep. I don't disagree with you. There's not much extra going on with it. I agree with you. I thought
it's not flashy, right? But I mean, it's what you need.
You had people saying he could go to the second. I didn't see that. There was some mocks that you saw Jamin Davis and Zaven Collins. There was question marks with those two linebackers, and I didn't get it because those guys maybe a little bit undersized, but they're so fast, and they get sideline to sideline so fast.
Jets picks in. Who we got?
Take Barrymore.
Who's announcing it? Huh? Holy shit! Elijah Moore, bro. Bro.
God damn it. I was very adamant that they weren't going to take a wide receiver. I borderline swore they weren't going to take a wide receiver.
I texted you.
I know. I'm sorry.
Wide receiver at 1350.
Oh, man.
Man, that would have been a nice hit.
I literally think I said to you, there's zero chance they take a wide receiver.
Yeah, you did. So they're not taking a receiver. I mean, Elijah Moore's on the board though, so it's not shocking.
Forget everything I said about Joe Douglas. I'm an idiot. When I saw your reaction, I took the headphones off. I was like, are they about to say Barrymore?
That's shitty.
God damn it.
No,
I suck at this game.
Leatherwood to the Raiders.
Reach.
Super reach. I like Leatherwood, but I think he's more of a second-round guy, and I think he'll end up being good. I mean,
he's got a badass name. That's why John Gruden took him.
He does have a badass name. I mean, to hop on him that early, I saw some Raiders chatter today. I think there was a lot of people pissed off.
The only way John Gruden wasn't taking Leatherwood is if a guy by the name of like Buzzsaw or something was on the board. But
dude, look at the Jets picks. They got Tucker, Zach Wilson, Elijah Moore. They picked up Corey Davis too. I mean,
Corey Davis can kiss my ass,
man. We already talked about Jamin Davis. Giants moved back 9 spots with the Bears and picked up a 5th rounder this year and a 1st and 4th next year. They got Darius Toney.
Panic move.
You and I were talking, man. I didn't understand it at all. We got a trade alert.
Compliments of the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, who wants
Falcons trade pick to Denver?
Are we about to get Trask?
Maybe.
That would be cool because that'll hit our hit Trask's under 77 or whatever I have him at.
I got a round 2 bet in.
Hold on. So wait, this is amazing, by the way, because we were going to talk about Trask and where he could go. I had him going possibly the quickest he could go was to Atlanta at 35, this is the 35th pick.
Yeah.
Or the Lions at 72 was as low as he would go. I wonder what they're about to do.
That's kind of wild. I don't know. They got the pick in too, so they know who they want. It might be Trask, bro.
Well, all right. Let's think Broncos. That's the Jets. The Jets have to feel like they got 3 first-round players.
I mean, they kind of did, dude.
They did. They absolutely did.
It was going to last that long. So that's kind of why I was looking at him earlier, like, that might be a decent pick.
I like Moore better than Tony.
Let's get back to that. So I didn't understand it because you got the Giants already have Slayton. They picked up Kenny Galladay. They picked up John Ross. John Ross is trash, but I mean, he's still there. Why sign him? So they still have Sterling Shepard, who can never stay on the field. But
right.
Tony's a little bit different. He's a different type of player. But I mean, why? I don't understand. Because you and I thought when they got to there, like
line.
Yeah, they're taking a lineman.
I thought it was going to be offensive line. I was very public of that. I thought they would stay put and take Slater. Even with them moving back, I thought offensive line was going to be the pick. But I mean,
they got to take Darrisaw, right? That's who
right. There's so many of the offensive linemen in this group are all so close that I'm not going to say, hey, one way or the other that you probably should have taken this guy over the other. But I will go out on a limb and say, I don't know how you take – I'm pretty sure Tony went before Bateman, which, all right, that's fine. But I don't really see how you take Tony before Eli Moore. I really don't understand that one.
I don't either. I don't know. The Giants –
same skill set, so you just had to like Tony better.
But I don't know. Didn't make much sense to me.
I thought it was a panic move. I thought the Eagles moving up was a panic move at first, but then once the Giants moved back and took the receiver, it confirmed what the Eagles did was on point. Let's see what we got here.
I'm going to grab Devontae if the Eagles didn't move up.
I hope this one's Trask. That way it keeps Moorig available for the Eagles.
I don't know if I got anything on Denver.
And I've got Trask going in the second round, and I've got Trask under 7.5.
Wow. That's a big pick. That's huge.
I see.
Oh. That is huge.
All right, and I guess all right, see, that confuses me because they let the Jets pick. Why would they let the Jets pick?
Right, that's what I was just thinking, because the Jets could have took him.
Yeah, and then they move up.
Yeah.
So who were they trying to get in front of?
Well, I mean, Atlanta.
The Dolphins, you know what? All right, the Dolphins.
Too, because Atlanta needs.
Or Atlanta. Yeah, you know what? Okay. A lot of people really like this dude.
They picked up Mike Davis, so.
I'm gonna shoot
Carolina system. I don't think he's going to do well. I think he's going to do too well there in Atlanta. But
I think him going to Denver may put him ahead of ETN as far as dynasty rookie running backs go. Just because ETN is going to be there with James Robinson, Williams is going to be the guy in Denver, and Harris is going to be the guy in Pittsburgh.
So you got. That's a hell of a first 2 picks, dude. You got Pat Surtain and Javonte Williams. That's
what they give up. Did it say what they gave up?
No, I didn't see it yet.
All right, so pick is in. I wish I could live bet that they're going to take Jenkins here. Or, you know what? I take that back. It's Dickerson. It's going to have to be Dickerson.
Hey, man, your Mooring's still in play for your pick if they don't take him.
That is true. The Eagles could get Mooring, but I have – what do I have here? Oh, the Falcons to take a corner. They traded, so that's alive. I do have Miami plus 150 to take an offensive lineman. So I think it's going to be Dickerson here. I think this should be Dickerson. And then that leaves for the Eagles They can get the kid from Notre Dame, JOK. I would love Morig, or I'd be okay with Jenkins too.
Colts took Quiddy Pay. That was a good pick. I would have liked to see them take a receiver personally, but to help Wentz out. But it's definitely going to help their pass rushing.
They can get a receiver here in the second round, and definitely a Quiddy Pay fan moving forward. Did you see how his mom basically retired? He said his mom's retired last night, so that was pretty cool. I'm cheering for that guy.
Titans came after that, got Caleb Farley. I was pretty stoked about that one.
What was his problem when he got drafted? Why did he look like such a weirdo?
I don't know. I remember that. Well, no, he had the back thing, so I think he was like kind of in a.
He looked like a main character of a horror movie. The way he was just like creepily standing in front of the TV.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what was going on there, but I like that pick. I think it definitely helps the secondary that struggled. That's another one, man. If we were live betting that, I think we would have hit these last few.
What is happening right now in the draft, by the way?
Yeah.
Did those guys not go up to the podium and then somebody was like, yo, move your asses? They look fresh, though. Those outfits are tight. I like that jacket. Am I right?
Who we got? Oh, shit.
Is it an offensive lineman? You're at least 10 seconds ahead of me.
Damn.
What are we doing here? What's wrong with Morig?
Right? They're still in play for Philly.
Wow, I just lost a bunch of money.
How? You take Morin to be the first safety?
That was minus 400.
No. You took that minus 400?
It was when it went off. I got it at minus 225.
Shit.
How does that lose minus 400? Where's Huncho? What are we doing here? Holland was the third best safety, I thought, in this draft. I thought the kid from UCF was supposed to be even the second best safety.
I don't even know how they had him ranked. Let me see.
What are we doing here?
That's the first safety off the board, period.
Oh, my God. Is there something wrong with Morgan? I don't want him.
Man, I don't know. The Eagles got their pick in right now.
The pick is in? All right. So I still want Morig, Jenkins, or JOK, Notre Dame.
All right, real quick. Vikings got Shaw. Big pick up for them.
I liked the trade.
Yeah, I think that's a home run. They could have got them not trading back, and it was a home run. Browns got Greg Newsome. That was solid. They need help there in the secondary.
Help us hit our 4.5 over corners.
No shit. That was big.
That's solid, my
got Najee Harris. I've been calling that one for quite a long time now.
I thought that was the ATN spot.
Yeah, we had money on ETN to go first just because I figured maybe he'd go somewhere else. But
Harris seemed too obvious to be the pick.
I think he just fits that Steeler mold a lot better. You know what I mean? He's
absolutely.
Bigger bruiser runner. And then the Ravens got Bateman with their one of their picks, and then got Jason Owa later. Bateman will help a little bit. I'll get to Lamar another day. And then Bucks got Joe Tryon. So that kind of wrapped up the first round.
That dude's a freak, that Tryon, by the way. He's a defense. He's a physical specimen.
That's good. You think the Bucks take a shot on Trask if he's still there?
I heard they could possibly have done that at the end of the first round, so yes.
Really? I could see that.
The Eagles are going to piss me off and take Trask right here. You watch. Oh, my God.
Dude, that would be wild.
So mad.
That would be wild.
That would be the most typical thing in the world and just make my life such a pain in the ass because I'd have to figure out a way to spin zone that, and I have no idea how to do that. Oh, well, they like Trask and Hurts. No.
Oh,
do me a favor.
The Reds.
What's that?
Reds are down 1-0.
They stink.
Terrible.
Morig 1. JOK from Notre Dame, linebacker, safety 2. Tevin Jenkins, left tackle, Oklahoma State 3. Any one of those 3, I'm very happy. Pretty much anybody else, I'm not too happy. There's a couple select people that I'd be co with. Rashad Weaver, Chad Surratt, Andre Cisco. I take that Cisco back since Morg is available. Aaron Robinson. Asante Samuel Jr. I would be okay with that.
He's flying off the board. That's kind of wild.
And I wouldn't be shocked at all if the Eagles did that.
Samuel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't shock me either.
We love Asante Samuel in Philadelphia. We're in a commercial break here. So I still have my Falcons plus 400 for a corner. It's just going to have to wait till when. I don't know. Hopefully they still are picking this round. Miami to take an offensive lineman. Loser.
You got
Basham. Edge rusher from Wake Forest.
Who they got?
Are you ahead of me? Are they in? I'm taking these off real quick.
Up to the podium right now.
All right, I'm going to pull the headphones off so it doesn't give it away because I'm a couple seconds behind you. All right.
I want to save you.
Morig. Jenkins. JOK. Roll Tide. Fly. Oh my God, it's Mike, not Greeny. What's his name?
Golick.
Mike Golick. These assholes in the chair, just. What are we doing? Nothing.
I think you'll like that one.
I'm very okay with that. I'm very, very cool with that. Very cool with that.
What are you doing, Bengals?
Very, very cool with that.
Oh, shit.
Trade alert. Let's
with
go.
The Patriots? Oh,
Rondale Moore?
Shit.
Or that could be Moore too. All right. I'm glad I was on the record a couple minutes ago as saying Dickerson is the best offensive lineman in the draft left. You've got your Kelsey replacement. You've got a You've got a freak and a bad dude. So we'll have a center from Bama, a stud receiver from Bama, a quarterback from Bama. Roll Tide. Roll Eagles, roll.
This is interesting. The Patriots just moved up. I'm wondering what they just gave up to the Bengals. But hopefully we got something decent.
That shows you how much they like the offensive linemen that are sitting there for them.
Yeah.
I'm so okay with the Eagles becoming the University of Alabama.
Let's see. The Bengals are traded. I don't see any news on it as far as what they traded for.
Howie still stinks, but I'm hyped.
Oh, they added the 122nd and 139th. So what is that?
4th round conditional picks.
Is that a 4th and a 5th?
No, it's 2 4ths. One's probably their true 4th, and the other one's probably a conditional.
No, it's this draft.
Right. You could have conditionals. They probably have multiple 4th round picks.
Yeah, I think they do.
The Patriots are famous for that. It's the you can sign our players and give us conditional picks for them trick.
couple fourth round. I mean, I'm cool with it.
And do you have their pick this round?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then yes, that fair. So you moved back what 10-some spots and got 2/4 out of it.
What is it? 38. Looks like they were 38 spots.
And you get 2/4 out of it.
Yep. There's
absolutely
for New England right there. They wanted him bad.
Who is it?
Armore.
The defense. That's an awesome pick. God damn it. See, and you know what? This is validation for me. Because what did I say? I said the Jets should take Barmore. Win me some money. The Jets take Barmore. They don't. The smart team does. I'm smart. I'm the Patriots. They're the Jets. Unbelievable. There's Vince Wilfork Jr.
All right, man. Just give me Trask and the Falcons take a quarter, and I'm good. I'll actually be up on the day. They only drop like half unit sizes on a lot of these.
Oh.
What? Did you hit something?
Yeah, I hit the Eagles to draft an offensive lineman for plus 500.
Solid.
I just reached out. I just realized that.
Solid shit, man.
I was just bitching about them too. All right, so I'm 1-2 thanks to my birds. Bird gang, bird gang. Bang, bang, bird gang. Barmore was such a stud in the college football playoffs.
See what's going on in the baseball world here, man. Oh, Marlins and Nationals cashed. Hell yeah. Dude, seriously, the Pirates are getting just smacked. The Reds are down 2.
Did the Bears just trade up, or what just happened here?
No, they were next. Just cast a pitching prop for Brubaker. Hell yeah.
So what do I need now? I need the Panthers to take a wide receiver whenever they're up, and the Lions to do the same. I like Lewis Riddick. Something's got to be up with Morig.
Yeah, I mean, he's dropped a lot. Because he was supposed to be a first rounder, wasn't he?
He's supposed to be a first rounder, and he was by far the best safety in the draft. Something's got to be going on there. I don't know what the heck it is. Still good players. Quinn Miernes, the Wisconsin Whitewater.
All the Bears fans are excited. What are they doing? That's solid. Tevin Jenkins.
Yeah, that's a great pick. Great pick. That's a first round talent, offensive lineman.
That's solid pick.
Good pick.
That's Phillies. Astros.
You want to stay on to the Bengals pick?
Yeah, I might as well.
All right, hang on. Let me get this charger plugged in. Keep talking about God knows what. Give me a second.
And I'm hoping right now the Falcons grab a corner.
When do they come up? Oh, their next pick after this.
Yep.
Oh, so they're on the clock right now. All right. I'll come. Hang on. I'll be right back for that.
Man, I was wanting to get off when the Bengals pick so I go eat.
What's that?
So I was wanting to get off when the Bengals pick so I go eat, but here we are.
Hang on real quick. They could take Asante Samuel or Morig.
Yeah, I can see that.
Outstanding upper body strength. I think that's the thing you look at. Once he gets his hands on you, hey, Katie bar the door, it's over with. He's going to have to.
Got some audio coming in. All right, Falcons pick in. Let's see who they got. Yo. Who's got the hit for the Reds? Votto. Oh shit.
All right, we're live. We're back. Did you hear my phone going off?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That's my buddy Dave who was calling to tell me because that guy that we like and respect, he had a Dickerson was the best lineman he had available. And yeah, he did just text me. Pretty sure I called Elijah Moore to the Jets and you told me I was an idiot. I did. That is so great. He literally said Elijah Moore. And I said, you're an idiot.
Falcons got their pick in.
Take a corner.
Please.
Dave, I'm still live. I'll call you back, buddy. Hang on.
God, it's taking forever to call it.
All right, I've got it on that. That count. All right, yeah, something's definitely up with Morig.
What the fuck?
Does that count as do I have them to draft the defensive back or a corner?
You
It's
probably
definitely a corner.
have a corner, yeah. Yeah, he's falling for some reason.
I wonder what it is, man.
I don't know.
People were sold on him being that number one guy, too. Comparing him to Malcolm Jenkins. I mean, I thought if any position of the guy who was going to go first other than the quarterback was a lock, well, wide receiver, it was safety.
If I can find anything on why he's dropping, because that is extremely odd.
And I thought this kid was supposed to be ahead of Holland from Oregon, but I guess not. Right? I guess all your team's preference, I guess.
I mean, dude, I don't know, man.
Well, I need this to be a wide receiver. I know that. Rondale Moore here? Or, it'll probably be Terrence Marshall, right?
If they're taking a receiver, it's going to be Terrence Marshall, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's go Terrence Marshall here. Hit old Uncle T 121, minus 121. Who's that?
The only thing I'm seeing on Mowing here is it's not much. To be honest, it might just be the fact he's at TCU.
Oh, shots fired.
I mean, no, not shots fired, but
Did you hear that, Huncho?
I mean, dude, I don't know. That's
I wanted the Eagles. If the Eagles missed out on the first three receivers, I wanted them to move back into the 20s to get this dude. They could get him in the third round.
Yeah.
They don't have a third round pick, but
I don't know if it'll last a third, but
something very wrong has to be going on here. I mean, I guess it's safety, so it's.
I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say the TCU thing because those two aren't from big schools either. One's from Oregon and the other one's from
UCF
or USF.
UCF,
Yeah.
right? Central Florida.
So I mean, TCU's probably actually ahead of those. So yeah, something else
Yeah.
going on with the dude. Oh, that's wild, wild.
Damn. I can't imagine. All right, let's start getting these quarterbacks going. But first, a wide receiver. Maybe those quarterbacks aren't going to go in the second round.
Dude, I'm getting hammered today on these. Thank God I only did like a half unit on everything.
Thank God I'm a golf ninja. Shout out Keegan Bradley, Sam Burns.
Did Patrick Reed birdie that last hole?
I don't know. Let's find out right now.
I'm about to pull that up.
PGA Tour.
Oh, he missed the cut, bro. Hoffman's our closest one in position.
No, we got winners right there.
Do we?
Well, no, we have a bunch. We've got Homa in the top. I mean,
to win.
Well, I've got Keegan Bradley and Sam Burns.
Pete Connors, Answer Rose that we were both on. I like to see Answer come in and pull it off. But
oh my God, dude! I have when you look at the leaderboard, I've got Keegan Bradley in first to win. I've got Sam Burns in first to win. I've got Lucas Glover top 10. I've got Homa top 10. I've got Hoffman top 10. I do not have Schwartzel. I have M top 10, and then don't have Zach Johnson. But I, in some fashion, have 6 of the top 10 in the first 5 guys on the board. That's pretty dope.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you crushed it last week, dude.
Last week was tight. Golf's been awesome to me. I wish I could keep track of the units on Book It. That Billy Horschel match play win plus 8,000. What's that?
It'll be there.
Yeah. We hit Morcal plus 5, JT. That Billy Horschel was really nice. We hit Berger at the AT&T Pro-Am.
Can't get over Finau and Champ selling out like that at the end, man.
It was the alternate shot. I knew that was going to get them.
Yeah, but they did fine on that the first round.
On Friday, the first round of alternate shot, they hung tough. But they were the same player. They take a receiver? No, of course not. And I like this kid for the Eagles too.
Defensive tackle. Are you ahead of me now?
I guess.
Well, you get ahead of me, dude.
I'm just taking a pounding over here.
Dude, same. I haven't hit anything this round yet. So all small plays anyway, you know.
It's
get crazy with these. You never know.
Hours of time. Well, that's another. Usually, the Eagles are the ones that fail me, but they're the only ones I can count on here. The only W I'm going to have tonight is going to be because of the Philadelphia Eagles.
It's kind of wild.
Unless the Panthers take a wide receiver, I'm screwed.
The round's going pretty quick. They're about to take the Dolphins are about to get their pick in.
Wait, didn't the Dolphins already pick?
I picked earlier, but they have another one, I think.
God damn it.
Dude, I got the Reds on my other screen right here. I'm about to lose my shit. Dude, being a Cincinnati fan's rough, man. You talk about heartbreak. It's awful.
There's very few cities to where I can be like, damn, I feel bad for you as a Philly fan. Like it's tough being a Philly fan. But there's very few cities where I can be like, bro, that sucks. Cincinnati's absolutely one of them.
Yep. It definitely is. Yeah.
Cincy, Detroit are like right at the top of that list.
Yeah, Detroit's kind of
That would suck to be a Detroit fan.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Why is that chair still here?
I don't know what Goodell's doing with the chair, though. I think we got a couple viewers from the platforms. Y'all want to hop in and talk, man? Get a little interactive here.
Who are the Dolphins about to take? Who was it? Oh, okay. He's the offensive tackle that could end up playing guard. He's got short arms. Oh, my bad.
Man.
And that pisses me off because I had Miami to take an offensive lineman with their first pick in the second round, and they do it with the second pick in the second round.
Oh, man.
Those rat bastards.
Let's see.
Who did they get with the –
Atlanta took the safety, right?
Yeah, who did the Dolphins take with – did they take Jenkins? No, the Bears did.
What do you mean, this round?
Yeah, who else did the Dolphins grab?
Holland.
Oh. Okay.
So I'm trying to see if I faded anything that would have screwed me over.
That's right. They could have taken Morig. The Raiders could take Morig. I thought they could have taken him in the first round.
Yeah. And Raiders picks in.
The Raiders could take Carmen. The Raiders could take
Carmen.
Dynami Brown.
You got to think they're going to do something here, right?
They could take Nixon, defensive tackle.
I mean, are they going to take another lineman?
They could take that Notre Dame kid. Why are those guys falling?
I don't know. I know they lost Aguilar, so.
And why is Terrence Marshall falling?
I think he was more graded as a second-round guy, though. I don't think it's more of a fall thing. I think he was just graded that way, which I like him. I think he's good.
While we got a second, let me tell you that John Brown story. You want to hear it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So playing daily fantasy, and it was a $9 buy-in. 77,000 people were in the contest, and
Was it a Millie Maker?
no, it wasn't. The $20 was the Millie Maker. In fact, I'm glad you asked that because I had an entry in the Millie Maker, and if this entry would have been in the Millie Maker, I only would have won $10,000 instead of the 30 that I did.
We'll have to get into a whole DFS thing. But
Yeah, it's a scam. You got to be perfect.
Well, you got to pick a contest, right?
Right. So usually I would have my daily fantasy contest because I'd be bored at work. They're filled in by Thursday, Friday, Saturday the latest. Well, that week at work, I had my contest put in, but it was also, I think, the third week of the regular season, and it was actually the Ravens' first home game that year. They were playing the Bengals. A buddy at work, Bengals. They were playing the Bengals. Buddy at work has Ravens season tickets, and he couldn't go to the game. So he said to me, hey, you think you'd be able to get rid of these tickets? So I decided to take the responsibility of getting rid of these tickets myself. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll buy them all for you for the face value. I'll sell them and make money. Well, that was a bad idea. Well, it turns out good idea. But at the time, it turned out to be a bad idea because I couldn't sell these tickets. I was having the worst time trying to sell them. So as worst case scenario, last resort, I drove down to Baltimore and tried to scalp them. Well, that wasn't a good idea because there's like set scalpers who are in there and they don't like people just coming around trying to sell tickets. So they didn't really prefer me being down there. Well, I just am walking kind of discouraged. And at this time, man, what is the site that you used to buy stuff off of? Not Yellow Pages or Craigslist. I had them on Craigslist at the time too. So I get a message from Craigslist as I'm like walking back all discouraged. And this lady asks me, the ticket's still available. So before I answer and go to my car, I sit down at a bench outside of Camden Yards, which is where the Orioles play. And I just hop on Twitter waiting for her to respond. And I see right when I hop on Twitter that DeMarco Murray for the Eagles is out today. Ryan Matthews is starting. So I said, all right, I'm going to throw a Ryan Matthews lineup in. Aaron Rodgers, my quarterback. Ryan Matthews, my running back. It was Devontae Freeman's first start as the Falcons running back against the Dallas Cowboys, who scored 3 touchdowns that day.
Yep.
I took A.J. Green against the Ravens that day. He had 2 or 3 touchdowns. I had Steve Smith, I'm pretty sure, was in there against the Bengals, who had a big game. Greg Olsen had, I think, 2 touchdowns called back on him the week before. Played him. And then I also played John Brown. And that's kind of where it gets me to the story. So everybody on my team just going bananas. 30, 40 points. Here comes the Raiders. Who do we got for the Raiders? The fans don't know who it is. Morig. Okay.
Oh shit.
That could end up being a steal, man. They could have taken him in the first round.
They got to wait.
So anyway, the 1 o'clock games, 4 o'clock games, my team's going bananas. John Brown played at 4 o'clock, so him having a shit game didn't mean too horrible to me. Everybody, like I said, got 30 to 40 points. He had 9, but it still didn't really mean that much to me. Everybody else was still going bananas, but it was the next day, the Monday night game, that Aaron Rodgers still was to go and Randall Cobb, who I still had in my lineup. So my lineup was sitting there winning $50 going into the Monday night game, and I still had my quarterback and receiver to play. So I was doing some digging, looking through the contest, still seeing how many people had players remaining. I was like, man, I'm in a pretty good spot here. If Rodgers and Cobb can just have a normal game, I'll maybe win a couple $100 or so. Yeah. So I told my buddies, I say, could these guys have a good game? My roommates, I was like, we go out this weekend. I got you taken care of. So we're all right, cool. So end up in the first half, Cobb gets a touchdown. He's having a nice game. There was a point in the second quarter where every catch Cobb had, I made $1,000. And it went from 1,000 to 2,000, 2,000 to 4,000, 4,000 to 6,000. And then he caught a touchdown pass, another touchdown pass, and it was a wide receiver screen. He scores. We go bananas. Called back for a holding penalty. Oh. The next play, they ran the same play. He scores a touchdown again, but only 10 yards longer this time. So we go bananas again. I'm refreshing my phone, and I jump from 4,000 to 30,000. And I'm sitting there winning 30. I got the whole fourth quarter left, too. So I'm thinking I'm going to win 50 grand, right? Well, the Chiefs at the time were unable to make it competitive against the Packers. Aaron Rodgers got benched. Cobb got benched for the fourth quarter. And I sat there the entire fourth quarter just needing 1.48 points, which, as most people know, fantasy-wise, in a PPR, which daily fantasy is, that's one catch and 5 yards. One catch and 5 yards. I win another $20,000. All right, so I go from 30 to first place, 50,000. You saw it in that screenshot. So who's to blame? John Brown, 9 points. John Brown owes me $20,000, and I'll never forget it.
Yeah, that's brutal, dude.
That Thursday I was in Vegas though, so that was sweet.
That helps. Cowboys up right now.
Take an offensive lineman.
In Jacksonville again?
What's that?
Jacksonville's after them.
The Jaguars, the Dolphins, and the Jets have all of the picks. They could take that guy from Wisconsin, Whitewater. Who is this yelling right now, by the way? That's not Drew Pearson again, is it?
Dude, I don't know. Yo.
Didn't we kick his ass already? Who is that? Oh, I don't like this guy. I can just tell. I'm so glad this is muted and I can't hear what he's saying. Oh, boy, this is awkward.
I mean, dude, he's just talking and talking and talking.
What is he doing?
I don't know. But he's like,
all right, he's finally reading. The Dallas Cowboys stink, and we're taking. All right, who do I hate now? I hate. Oh.
Give me a lineman. Give me a lineman. Damn it.
What's wrong with Asante Samuel?
I don't know.
They liked this kid. This kid, I'm not surprised that Kelvin Joseph's here.
So, kind of piggyback off your story, this wasn't a DFS thing. This is a fantasy thing. So, there was a Monday night game this past year where the Falcons were playing the Packers.
Yep, very familiar. In Green Bay.
Yep. So, I was down 0.2. I need 2 yards or a catch. Calvin
Ridley. I remember
blanked.
this. I remember this.
What's even worse? That ended up costing me a trip to the playoffs.
I remember that.
What's even worse is I outscored everyone in the playoffs. Yeah, man, that was brutal.
I remember that.
Brutal.
There was a couple of those this year.
I mean, blanked. Like, damn, I'm sitting here watching like, dude, you can't make this up.
Julio Jones had a big game that game. So did Hayden Hurst, I believe. That was a Monday night in Green Bay. The Falcons got their butts kicked.
That whole game, though.
I think the under hit in that game.
I might have. Yeah, Matt Ryan struggled in that one really bad. Jacksonville's back up, and then we got the Bengals.
Bengals stink.
Come on, man. Reds got runners at the corners here.
Here comes a double play.
Probably.
Walker Little, good pick.
That's solid. That's solid.
He could have been a first rounder. I didn't have that, but the Bengals could have possibly been intrigued. Well, no, they want a guard. I'm hungry.
I am too. I'm hopping off here when they're done. Oh my grub. Yeah, they still. I think they might go Davis here. They're going to go Davis or Carmen, I think.
Take Wyatt Davis, right? You know, it could be Carmen because Carmen's planning to move to guard. So they might say, all right, hey, let's get the athletic guy. And you're the Bengals, so you don't give a shit about people's character.
Picks in.
Not to trash the character on a guy I don't know, but.
Do something with it.
Is how I think of Whiteside.
God. Whiteside.
The Eagles drafted him instead of DK Metcalf.
Imagine that. Well, then they just took Raygor over Justin Jefferson too, so.
Yep. That was a good time.
Yeah. They got Smith, so they got it right this year.
And I think Rager's better than his production last year, but you can't not take Jefferson. That guy just looks like he's going to be a good professional athlete.
He looks ready to roll.
Yeah, he does. He looks like he just gutted a deer.
Walking up. Let's go.
Let's go, Bengals.
See, now this is an alignment. I'm probably going to get pissed.
Offensive tackle, guard, center are your three biggest needs.
Dude, it's brutal, bro. Why do they talk so much, man? Just give me my pick. Don't ruin it.
I'm not. I wasn't going to.
We're going to talk for 10 minutes before we get a pick. So Roger Goodell gets on my nerves. All he does is talk. He's annoying.
You sounded so Southern right there.
I am.
He talk.
Hey, Bengals were like minus 200 or 300 to take a lineman here.
4.
Was it 4?
That almost makes me wish I took anything other than lineman.
That's probably what they'll do.
Just because of what happened with Morrig and those other teams.
Here we go.
Your friends are probably texting already about it.
I called that shit. Called it.
That was awesome. When I saw his name pop up, oh, that's so good.
Bro.
Being right where he's from probably isn't going to help him change who he is.
Man. Look, like I said, dude, he went to high school like right up the street.
You're doing what every fan does and just trying to talk himself into it right now.
No, it's not. I mean, I told you he's got the ability.
The upside is there.
Upside's there. I think he's lazy. This
And
is
that's
what
a
I've seen. I mean,
big problem.
I went and watched games, and he looked lazy.
Oh my God, I can't believe that. We've been
I
talking
guess it's a
about
good
that.
pick. I think I would have rather had Wyatt Davis though, but they did what they needed to do. They addressed the offensive line. He could play tackle or guard, so it's a good pick. But
Is that guy in the Lions jersey right there? Is that your
be
high
right
school?
there, Fairfield, Ohio. There we go.
Is that it?
What?
That guy's wearing a Lions jersey, like a black Lions jersey. Is that fair? The high school?
Say what now?
Like one of the family members was wearing a jersey, and it's a black jersey, and it says Lions. It looked like a high school or college jersey. I was wondering if that's the high school jersey.
Oh no, that wasn't it. We're red and white.
Red and white. Okay, yeah, that definitely wasn't it. Though.
I mean, it's an okay pick. I think I told like 3 or 4 people that today that they were going to pick you. But
I'll release the text messages and show how you really feel.
not. He just he's kind of lazy, dude.
Yeah, but he's got, like you said, he's got the upside. If he had that work at, maybe he'll get the spark where he's like, you know what, I got to start working my ass off, and that leads him to be the best. He was the best offensive tackle in the country at one point. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, he was, and he was extremely highly recruited. And, it's just I think a character thing with me and a work ethic thing. So hopefully he's grown up a little bit and got over that.
It seems like you're like a hardworking, prideful, like tough guy. So to have a guy like that kind of goes against what you believe, and it seems like at least.
I don't know. Just the games I watched him, he looked a little lazy, and
yeah, see, like that.
Like I said, the whole thing where he like said he wasn't going to Ohio State, and then he like attacked Urban on Twitter, and then
I like this guy.
I mean, yeah, you don't do that shit though, right? I mean,
no, that's dumb, but I don't like Urban, so I say that.
I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it works out. I mean, he could definitely play their position, so that's a good thing. So,
Dickerson, baby, let's go.
I called that shit though. I fucking called that.
That was tight. We're the University of Alabama. Roll, Eagles, roll. Roll, fly, Eagles, roll, fly.
Got some help. I mean, I can't complain. We got help. So, all right,
awesome.
man. We can wrap this on up.
Red
just took a lead. Let's go. Ow.
Let's go. Abraham Answer, Kokrak, Hoffman, M, Burns, Keegan Bradley, Chase Koepka. Why not? Let's do it.
Votto just had a dinger to right field.
He's still in the league?
Dude, he's clutch.
He's 106 years old.
Clutch, bro. He's been clutch the last couple days.
He's funny. I will give him that.
My baseball bets ain't looking too bad right now. I mean, I need the Pirates to get going. Mets game's looking good. I'm not sure about this pitching prop. I got to check it. Cubs look solid. Winker. I might be looking good.
What's going on tomorrow?
Man, I don't know.
I need you to lose the night, so you're due to win tomorrow. Give me those picks, and I'm back in
I
baseball.
can't lose the night. I don't want to lose the night.
God damn.
I got a lot of units pending right now. I need them after this stupid draft. Luckily, I only went
Trent posted asking who else has a bunch of units pending. I was like, it's called Hope, Trent. Hope.
That would be me.
Guilty.
Would be me. Let's see what Pablo's doing here. He's only got 1 strikeout through 5 innings. You bum.
Who are the Chargers taking? Probably a receiver. Dynamic Brown, Tutu Atwell, Rondale Moore.
All right, we'll wrap this up.
What are they about to take?
Thinking, as we get closer, man, we could do like
Asante Samuel Jr.
That's solid. That's solid.
All right, my friend.
Yeah. All right, man. We'll get together next week and maybe do
that
like
was
a
good
deal. So
let's go golf.
Like a virtual golf.
No, I mean like go golf.
Oh yeah.
Not like let's go golf. Like let's go golf.
All right, my dude. If
Later,
you're not
buddy.
following us, thanks for watching. Follow us on the Book It Sports app.
It was fun, bro. I had a good time.